He's what? He's still what? Like
20.
20 years old? You're rushing to declare this kid a bust, and you're putting yourself in the firing line to look like an absolute moron if you are like selling your stock on Connor Bedard already.
Connor Bedard, year 3. It's loading. And this is a player who entered the league in 2003 as the first overall pick with much hype. People thought he was going to be the solution there, and I think that he still can be the solution there. And I think that the way that we talk about him, without being full-blown pom-poms, everybody leave Connor Bedard alone, I think we got a little bit out of hand last year. Just a little bit.
Yes and no. Like, people were talking about him like he is actively a bust, and I do not think that's the case. I think that you can definitely be disappointed in where Connor Bedard is at right now in terms of his own individual development. But while you're in that camp, I think you also have to acknowledge that the team has been largely a disaster. Like, the coaching has not been steady or stable or great. And like, there's been a lot of outside noise, and he's facing a ton of pressure as he's still like 20 years old. You're rushing to declare this kid a bust, and you're putting yourself in the firing line to look like an absolute moron if you are like selling your stock on Connor Bedard already.
Yeah, I mean, Nathan MacKinnon did not have a breakout year, and I'm really not just saying this as exaggeration. Nathan MacKinnon broke out in the 5th year of his career. And Nathan MacKinnon is right now, I think in a lot of people's estimation, the 2nd best player in the world, sometimes the 1st best player in the world. At worst, you generally like a top 5 player. Can we afford Connor Bedard the same? I don't want to say give him 5 years to find out if he's like going to be an elite player, but first year, 61 points in 68 games. Second year, 67 points in 82 games for Connor Bedard, which is a step backward in terms of points per game go, and the team didn't get better, as you said. They finished 31st 2 years ago. They maybe picked up 7 points in the standings, but didn't improve standings-wise because they were 31st last year, 31st the year before. So the team stinks. Bedard hasn't gone off, but he's been like he's trending towards being a point-per-game player. So I think that he's been really good so far, and people maybe want him to be great, elite, whatever. He can get there in year 3, and he could get there in year 4.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything worth being super concerned about talent level wise. I think where I'm at on Connor Bedard is like, I would really like to see the rounding out of his game and like the leadership qualities more come to the surface, because like I feel like he's always going to be a very useful offensive player. That's always going to exist, but he wasn't drafted number 1 overall with all this hype to be a multi-dimensional offensive player. He was drafted in that spot with all that hype to be a complete superstar. And through 2 years, you have seen very little development in terms of what he brings in a 3-zone game and what he brings to improve a team on the overall outside of just his individual contributions while he's on the ice.
Okay, I said before that we've gotten, and people I think get carried away in being like, see, he wasn't that good, you all overrated him, he's a bust or whatever. Like, first of all, what he is right now, he could do, if he does this every year of his career, he's not, that's just not what a bust is. He would be a first overall pick who was...
I disagree. I get what you're saying, like, but you're comparing...
He's like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
You're comparing... Yeah, but Ryan Nugent-Hopkins didn't come in with this kind of hype. Like, that's the thing. The Connor Bedard hype set him up to be a generational or a at least superstar level player. And if he falls short of that and he's just a really good player or like a great player even for a decade plus, then like, sure, you can't... Maybe
I don't know,
you can't,
bust, but you'd say disappointment.
You'd say disappointment.
Yeah.
And I think that right now, it's so early to say like it's trending that way, but you haven't really seen the returns on the upper level of what he's supposed to be.
Yeah, so his points per game went down. His power play points per game went down in a season in which the Blackhawks got way better on the power play. So read into that what you will. On the discourse around him and saying that he's been disappointing or bust or whatever, like the one time that I was like, I hate the pro Bedard take on this was the Biz thing. Remember when Biz said he's playing pond hockey, and then the Blackhawks had this whole like "how dare you" thing, and I thought that was kind of lame on the Blackhawks part. But while I was pretty pro Biz there, even then, do you remember who they were playing in that game?
It was somebody really good, wasn't it?
Yes.
This is the Florida Panthers?
No. I was going to say better, and then I was like, I don't know if anyone's better than the Panthers.
Who?
In terms of like, you're playing against this guy and you look bad.
Carolina Hurricanes.
They were playing the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh.
And all of the stuff was about how he was playing when Connor McDavid was on the ice. So I thought that it was lame for the Blackhawks to be like, what? No, you guys know. Like, Connor McDavid makes everybody look bad. Relax. But I also think that when people were like, yeah, see, he sucks. I was like, no, like Biz isn't saying that he sucks. He's saying like, dude, you're playing against Connor McDavid. You need to have some sort of defensive awareness when you're out there. So I thought that it was maybe extreme for anybody to jump on him then and say he sucks because of that. But I also thought it was just super lame to push back against Biz in that sort of like, how dare you? And then like the next time he scored a goal, I think the Blackhawks tweeted out like, guess that's just pond hockey or something.
They also like tweeted Biz's stats back at him, being like,
I think Biz knows that Connor Bedard has
a little bit better than
been
him.
a little bit better than him.
Yeah, I mean, like it definitely wasn't isolated to that game, and they were talking about that game because it was the one on TV that they were covering. Like Bedard's defensive deficiencies have been there for the past couple of years, and like in year one, when PHNX and Craig and Leah were talking about his plus minus, and I was like, shut the fuck up about his plus minus.
Oh, right.
It's because he's in year one. Like, I don't want to have that discussion about a offensive player in year one on a horrible team, specifically with regards to his plus minus. I think we can start having the conversation now that like you want to start seeing him be more responsible in his own end and be able to like punch with the weights of maybe not Connor McDavid, but like he's gonna get matched up against the other team's best players most of the time. And in order to be considered one of the league's best players, which should be Connor Bedard's goal, you have to be able to defend against those players too, and you have to be able to win those minutes. And like, if we want to talk about plus minus, which I really think is obviously a flawed statistic, but he's a minus 80 through 2 years.
Well, what did Laz bring up a couple weeks ago, Sean?
He said like a career-long bet as to whether or not Connor Bedard would finish his career with a positive plus minus.
I mean,
he's in such a hole right now.
It's like basically impossible.
He needs to have like a couple of Bergeron years.
Yeah, he'd have to be like,
and then just have a normal career after that.
Legit, like a stretch of like the best hockey of all time for that to happen, most likely.
I mean, I don't think that's necessarily true.
You could pick up like
he could be like a plus 15 for yeah.
He brought up the I believe Ovechkin.
I brought up Ovechkin.
Like
there was the year that I think he scored like 50 goals and was like a minus 20 or something. I forgot.
Yeah, like Ovechkin is not a career positive plus minus, I believe, and he started out in a much shallower hole, I guess. He's a career plus 60. Okay. But he started off plus 2 and then minus 19, plus 28, plus 8. So like,
what's Ovechkin?
Shout out
what's
Ovechkin.
Ovechkin's worst plus minus?
So I'm glad you asked that.
2014, he was.
Read his stats.
In that season, he played 78 games. He had 51 goals, 28 assists for 79 points. You want to guess what his plus minus was?
He had 51 goals.
51 goals, 28 assists.
Minus 45.
Minus 35.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
Unbelievable. Not even.
That's hilarious.
And then he had 2023-24 was minus 22. The year before that was minus 16. So he's had a couple, but like generally speaking, most of his seasons have been positive.
So, I mean, Bedard's, I know this is such a stupid conversation because we don't really respect plus minus all that much. But Bedard's first 2 years he's had a worse plus minus than Ovechkin's worst plus minus.
Yeah. Like, Bedard's like a minus 80 right now?
While we're comparing stats to other players, I want to go through some post-lockout, like stud, guy gets drafted, and everyone's like, this guy can't miss. Their first 2 seasons in the NHL. Sidney Crosby, 222 points in 160 games. And I will note, Connor Bedard has 128 points.
Yep, in 150 games.
128 points in 150 games. So Crosby had 222 in 160. Ovechkin had 198 and 163. Malkin had 191 and 160. McDavid had 148 in 127. And then I think the best comp, Nathan MacKinnon had 101 points in 146 games. So, again, I'm not saying that Connor Bedard is going to be Nathan MacKinnon, but I think that there is something. Maybe it's because people don't like the faces he makes or something, but I do feel, and maybe I'm being a little bitchy, I feel that there's just like people that are kind of lining up to be like, yeah, I knew it. He's bad. And I'm like, I don't think you know it yet. He's definitely not bad. I think he's really good, and he can be unbelievable.
I feel like a part of it has got to be like the undersized element. The fact that he's undersized and really doesn't defend all that well, or sometimes at all, people have been like ready to write him off to like not be a complete player since he came into the league.
I mean, I feel like that is just, there is a certain brand of sports fan, regardless of the sport, that is always going to look down on the small guy. Like in football, basketball, hockey, baseball. Like there's just, people want big guys. They want strong, especially if you're one of the people that's so focused on his plus minus and him getting better at defense. Then the comp to Nathan MacKinnon kind of falls apart there because Nathan MacKinnon is much more physically imposing than Bedard is.
Who are his line mates? Tracy Myers of NHL.com wrote this month, I believe, that it's most likely Andre Burakovsky and Ryan Donato as Bedard's wings. I would say that is underwhelming. I think that Ryan Donato, good player, good scorer, had 31 goals last season, spent a lot of it with Connor Bedard, so very good there. Andre Burakovsky is a first-line left wing, speaks to, I think, a lot of why people have issues and discuss Connor Bedard as being disappointing, should be attributed to, or can be attributed to, the fact that he is not on a good team. Andre Burakovsky, not a first-line left wing.
Yeah, no, definitely not. That is for sure underwhelming, and part of the reason that, like, if things go bad this year, like Kyle Davidson has got to go, because you got to set this. This is the future of your franchise, and you are not setting him up for success. And like, I know they tried to bring in some guys last year to give him a little bit more help, and it didn't work. But oh God, it's for that to be his line heading into year 3. Even if it doesn't look exactly like that, it's still underwhelming.
Man, like, can Bertuzzi keep up? You can't like toss him on that first line.
Here's my question: is like at some point, do you maybe consider moving him off center
to wing?
Do you move Bedard to wing? Like, does he play on Nazar's wing or something? Because like Bedard has been getting absolutely ragdolled in the faceoff dot too. So like, if you want to ease up maybe his defensive responsibilities, you want to let him learn the trade a little bit more without getting caved in. Play him on the wing of another really good young player that maybe he can just focus on scoring and setting up goals. Like,
that's a tough move in year 3.
I was going to say too, like, especially if you're one of the people that is so concerned about all the faces he makes and him maybe not having a great mentality or whatever. Like, if he doesn't like the idea that you're moving him off of center, then like it could be counterproductive in that regard.
But if he's not, if it puts the team in a better position to win, and it gives him a better chance at producing and just easing in and not feeling like the weight of the world is on his shoulders, maybe it's a temporary relief to unlock him a little bit and just allow him to do more with less.
Yeah, I mean, and if anything, you at the very, very least, you take away the face-off numbers as something
People can point to,
which is like there's. I mean, that's a drop in the bucket of what people are going to complain about him, but.
We all silly like the mayor.